Okay, I am Prophetess Shade Gilmore, and I'm going to go here with this prophetic word that the Lord gave me. He actually gave me this word the day He physically moved me from out of my mother's home on February the 24th, or it was out of the 23rd when He gave me the word, but He moved me out on February 24th. He titled it "The Final Goodbye," said God. And one reason why I honestly believe the Lord titled it like that, "The Final Goodbye," it's because the Lord, throughout this 10-year process that just ended on June the 24th, 2025, the Lord has moved me, had me to cut off my mother at different periods of time. He moved me out like last year. He moved me out. And so that was a goodbye. But this is that was the final goodbye this year. So that's why I believe one reason why he titled it like that, because my mom, he knew for one, it was literally finna come to an end between me and my mother. Like, ain't no, oh, she's gonna come back again, and y'all gonna chit chat. No, no. I made peace like He commanded me to do. Gave an apology like He commanded me to do. And again, I'm gonna say it again on this video. And that was not to say, oh, He didn't command me to give an apology to say, oh, I agree with your wickedness, mother. No, that apology was given strictly and solely because He opened my eyes to understanding and corrected my error ways, allowing me to know, even if your mother is, say she touched you, we know she operating against you, but you don't touch her back in the flesh. You fight against the evil spirit behind her. You fight against the spirit and you bring her to me in prayer and let me eventually deal with her. And that's why my mother is currently under the Lord's judgment now, suffering. So with that being understood, I've shared, I think I'm gonna get the date on camera real quick. Let me do that real quick. What is today's date?
It's Sunday, June 29th, 2025.
Okay. Although I'm going to put it out today or tomorrow, I still want to get proof of the date. Okay, so I shared, make a story short, how I went back into sin, touching the forbidden fruit. Now, what the part I didn't share with you is how it was after I came from out of the place of disobedience. After I passed the 90-day test that the Lord had gave me, that started in June, the very end of June, because that's when He sent me back into that place of disobedience, which is under my mother's ruling and under my mother's hand, because my mother is very defiant towards the Lord. My mother has a spiritual attitude that she gonna do what she wanna do, even if she don't been warned, she gonna do what she wanna do. And so after passing that 90-day test, the Lord moved me from under my mother's ruling, under her hand, September 24th. Well, once He moved me from out of that place, that's what I didn't tell you. That's when one of the times when I took of the forbidden fruit with my kingdom spouse, the very end of September. Now, I'll be honest, that was my last time I took of the forbidden fruit with fornication. Came October, yeah, we stopped touching it, okay? I ain't looked back since. But that's when my 9 months of suffering begun. Uh, because I touched it after I was released from that place of disobedience, it's like the Lord said, oh, you gonna wait. It ain't funny because I suffer big time for doing that. You gonna wait till you get from out of the place of disobedience. And not saying it would have been okay if I would have did it in that place of disobedience, but to say, because I waited until I got from out of that place of disobedience, it counted against me spiritually, meaning it made me have to go all the way back and suffer for a whole 90 days again. Like I didn't just suffer under my mother's ruling during the first 90 days. Like I didn't just have to go through this test and that test. June, July, August, and September before I was released. That was a whole 90-day test I had to go through. That was a whole 90-day period of suffering that I had to go through. Right? And so because I took of it, touched it again, after I was released from out of that place of disobedience, that made me have to go back and suffer all over again for 90 whole days. Although the Lord has begun my suffering began to allow me to suffer that month once he moved me over there, because I went back into the furnace of affliction. Didn't know it was going to be for 9 whole months. But said all that to say this, to get back to get to this word, to lead up to this word. So because I had touched it, it put me back in the furnace of affliction spiritually, which meant I was going to have to go back through my mother, back through under her hand in order to get out. Don't ask me why. That's just how the Lord, that's how he set it up in my life. I don't know. That's between the Lord and his business. But let's go on. So, make a story short, the Lord had commanded me to reach out to my mother, make peace with her before she died. And he also corrected my understanding, opened my eyes to understanding, corrected my error ways that I was walking at that time. Allowing me to know, which was the obeying your parents part. Allowed me to know that I owe my mother an apology, not to say that she's not who she is in the spirit realm, not to say she doesn't operate in wickedness, but was to say that yes, I know your mother operates against you wickedly. I know that. I know who your mother is against you. I know that. I know who she is in the spirit realm. But you do not fight back against her in the flesh, because that is your mother. You fight against the evil spirit behind her, and you allow me to deal with your mother. You fighting against your mother is you fighting against me, because the Lord's word is his word. He said, obey your parents, right? Boom. So that meant the Lord had to reopen the communication. Make sure he did that. By February the 19th, I was back under my mother's hand, literally in her household. But I was back under her hand February the 10th. February the 19th, I was literally back in her house. Followed that rich for 14 days. Boom, got put into my own place. The Lord allowed my mother to hang around until like 20-some days later, which is when my son's second birthday party came, March the 22nd. See, the Lord was setting, this is why he titled this word, The Final Goodbye, said God. Because he set my son's second birthday party as a bait. Because now that I had passed the test that the Lord required me to pass, he was finna test my obedience all over again for 90 days, which means I was finna suffer for 90 days all over again, like I did last year. Although I was already in a suffering period that started in September. I have to talk about that on a whole separate different video. But once I left from that place, see, although he had moved me physically, the door was still open through communication. So it's like I was still there. So the morning of my son's second birthday party came, the Lord allowed me to know that would be the day that I would be leaving. Commanded me to cut the communication out with my mother and my brother. Boom, I did that. From that day forward, that day and after, my mother was not to come after me no more, which can look like, but not limited to, don't talk about me no more. Don't put your mouth on me. Don't try to fight against my relationship. Don't try to fight against me nor my children in the spirit realm. Don't come after me no more, Pharaoh. I am no longer under your ruling. Let me go. She was warned October, November 2021 that once I leave from here, don't come after me. Now, I know I had to retake that test so many times, but the warning still remained the same. Make a story short, the Lord already knew my mother was going to come after me yet again. During those 90 days, I suffered. It was a test. The Lord allowed me to know it was a test of humiliation. He tried my obedience for those 90 days. I did not fail. I ended up passing the test, came June the 24th. During those 90 days, my mother purposely sent people to my home, trying to reopen communication, trying to get them trying to get me to talk with them so that I will so that the door will be open back to her, because she didn't want to send them. So if I would have communicated back with them, it would have counted against me. The Lord commanded me to cut the communication off. She knew what she was doing spiritually. My mother knows exactly what she's doing. But make a story short, I did not fail the test. I remained standing in obedience like the Lord commanded me to do. Now, because I passed those tests, see what my family didn't know, that party was a bait, said the Lord. for those who took it. And because I passed the test, came June of 24, 2025, that's why those who chose to come after me is now suffering.